Hello guys, my name is Mohammed Shaki.
My name is Narendra Singh.
My name is Martin Sinaparsha.
And my name is Mark Edwin.
Now we are going to discuss the topic about the impact of 5G technology on communication connectivity. 5G is the latest development in mobile communication which offers high-speed network which is about 10 Gbps, which is almost 100 times faster than 4G network, and it offers low latency which is less than 1 millisecond, which is very crucial for day-to-day applications like remote surgeries or smart cities, smart cars, and other various sectors.
5G isn't all about a faster internet. It's all about now how it changed the way we live. For example, doctors, their patients can treat them far away, and transportation, smart cars, and students who has a long way travel for their university or school, they can just do their e-learning way better. Now, it's way better for people to live inside their house by using 5G.
Now, I agree with your point about how 5G helps in smart cities, but the thing is, 5G is not the only component to smart cities. So you also have to think about the technology in the IoT, and as well as whether it's operatable in 5G, because for 5G, you need to also have a chipset dedicated. That's why companies who use 5G actually work with telecommunication companies like Samsung, Qualcomm, and MediaTek to have 5G, which can be very expensive in itself. Now that's one of the points why 5G may not have a great impact, at least in countries that don't have the funds for it, since most of them actually are heavily funded by the government by how expensive the infrastructure is.
To add to that point, I did some research beforehand, and I found out that a lot of the 5G infrastructure used in, let's say, this country is, well, you need a lot of it to compare to the older infrastructure 4G, because of how 5G technology is made. It is more like it prioritizes larger bandwidths and not range, which means you need a lot more cell towers for 5G to work as effectively as 4G. So essentially what's going to happen is you're going to end up paying way more money for each cell tower paid to have the almost the same coverage as 4G networks. Like he said, the only people who's able to get these done are companies with government backing and a lot of funding in general.
Actually, I agree with that point because 5G needs a lot of investment to install this small cells in almost every places. But I think 5G is the best component to support the IoT because it has ability to connect massive number of devices at that time. So it is useful for like smart cities that can have some smart system like smart traffic systems, waste system, and it can also have remote doctors where patient can consult the doctors remotely, and also it can enhance the e-learning because physical e-learning it has a limited range of students to attend, but in e-learning it has unlimited students can join at a time. So it has gives opportunity to give students to learn in home itself.
And also in this generation, people are more like 5G is going to be way cheaper now. Not really way cheaper, but it's cheap now for people to make antennas for people who needs 5G. 5G is also being cheap and that's all. That's all.
Alright, so do you firmly believe that 5G is required to have a large scale network? Because 4G is arguably sufficient enough. There's already, like, especially in the pandemic, where the networks were still largely 4G, hundreds of students in Zoom, in Gmeet, they still were able to have good connectivity, even with 4G. And that was at the time where 5G is not as internationally implemented as now. And I do agree with your point for, especially the doctor. There has been works on time helping with, especially with operations via robots. But do you really trust a robot to operate you compared to a doctor being in the operation? That's what I mean by there are many other factors other than 5G, because although 5G is really good, it has fast connectivity, it's not the only component in making a smart city.
There's also the point of where 4G excels in really long range, wireless communication between devices. That isn't exactly as good as 5G, as like I said from my previous point, 5G is very limited in its range because of its technology. It offers higher bandwidth, like I said, at a lower range. So if you wanted to have cheaper connectivity between a large amount of or a large place, you're gonna want 4G instead of 5G. And it also incorporates my point that a lot of routers, let's say in this building as well, as you can see an example, there are 2 access points here in this classroom to essentially give every student the same amount of speed, because of the fact that there's way too many students here every single time, and the fact that 5G doesn't penetrate walls as great as 4G because of its limited range and stuff. So in cases like this, it is higher speeds. However, there is very limiting in the fact that you need a lot more equipment to get this running.
I think I agree with you on the challenges of 5G. I think we have to mention the challenges of 5G as security and privacy concerns, because 5G supports IoT, which is a massive number of devices. The more devices connected, it has risks to get hacked by hackers. Once the hacker hacked one devices, he got a jackpot to get access of the connected devices, like smart cameras. He can access smart cameras once he access the user's smartphone, and he can access literally every devices. So I think there have to be safety measures on the 5G security.
And also, in this generation, technology improves day by day, year by year, and all the technologies now, not all of it, it needs 5G on it. So,
Okay. So yeah, the more 5G progresses, the more cost efficient and effective it is, right? Correct? So my final question to you is, what do you think is the fine line between the speed of 5G and the reliability of 4G? Some people argue that 4G's reliability is a much more better trade-off compared to 5G. What are your thoughts?
I think 5G offers better speed than 4G because it does not give buffer time, and it gives the expand the memory, and it can give a lot of opportunity like VR. It can give very quick processing, and for gamers especially, they can just experience very less lagging time. So I think to give access to 5G and to people, I think government and service providers should take some measures to set up the 5G infrastructure.
So to clarify, you're saying that the benefits outweigh the negatives of 4G. So this entire debate is now benefiting.
Okay, so to summarize on what we have discussed with each other is that 5G is the future for smart cities and also for real-time components and a high in traffic of users, just like many people in a Zoom meeting and others. While its negative arguments is that its infrastructure may be too expensive for non-developed countries, or that it's not as reliable in a large mass area. Like compared to Singapore, where 5G may be very effective, but something as big as the UK, maybe it's not as efficient. So that is all of our points, and yeah, thank you for having this debate with us.